Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we've got Joe Lombardo again with us. Joe, how you doing?
Good, John. How about yourself?
Good. Most people should know your history, but I'll kind of give a quick rundown of where you've been in the industry and all that you've done. Started out, 30 years ago or plus with Nabisco for 10 years, handling
Right.
West Coast,
Hmm.
and then 20 years with Nestle and all of North America, handled everything, the fleet, etc. Director, senior director, and president of Ege Avenue Associates.
Yes.
We're really, really thankful to have you on our podcast on a regular basis, Joe. Today we're going to be discussing something we kind of, back on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, we started talking about posting that you had put up and shared with us.
It was they were talking about a survey that a company FleetOps did, which they do a lot with ELD data.
And what the gist of the article and the data was that drivers still had a lot of hours left on their clock at the end of the day.
Yeah. What they I guess they're looking year over year, and they see the hours. Drivers have more available hours month to month. So, like in April, their hours went up 7%, and in June, their hours went up 12%. So, as we all know, you can drive what? I mean, you have 11 hours behind the wheel after a 10-hour break. You want to get as much efficiency and much productivity out of that driver. So you want to get as many hours as you can legally and safely, of course.
Right.
But
Right.
a lot of stuff going on now that are drivers are not getting those hours, and some of it may be driver instituted. It may not just be the companies.
I think it depends on what segment that the industry is watching. Um, I think the goal for everyone involved, whether you're the carrier, the driver, the shipper, any part of the equation, is to maximize that truck.
Right.
For if it's got a driver behind the wheel, we want to make the truck as efficient but as profitable and as efficiently profitable as possible. And leaving hours left on the table means a couple of different things, and different things can cause it. I don't necessarily think that the long haul drivers that are running coast to coast are going to have the abundance of excess hours because
Right.
I think it's the hardest seat to fill. The regional drivers, though, your e-com business and your 1 day or less deliveries, I think those are the ones that are probably going to hurt that and impact those numbers more than anything else, because it doesn't matter where your day ends. It ends at where your furthest shipping point you can get to or scheduled to be at is, and then those hours are no longer usable because you got a load still on the
Right.
truck, right?
Absolutely.
So when we break that down and peel that onion back, we're going to see multi-stop loads are probably a big player in that, and then regional freight
Right.
will be a bigger player in it. And you know what we realize is the efficiency level when you're running that 500 to 550 mile destination in 24 hours. The carriers are more apt to go after those shipments whenever possible. The 200 and 300 mile shipments that you're setting on for the same amount of time are less desirable from a revenue perspective.
Right.
But I think as things slow down, we see that they have to start accepting those orders where you don't they didn't maybe have to.
I think business has slowed down. I'm sure you've seen it in your business. The spot market is down as opposed to a year ago. So it seems that there's less business. So less business, less hours. I think the other factor that is driving this, well, two other factors. One is the uh, the price of fuel. I mean, when you're talking guys got to pay $2,000 to fuel up, they may be, especially the owner operators, they may be saying, a small company saying, I'm only going to take this one load. I'm not going to fill up twice a day, or I'm going to just cut my fuel expenditure. So again, that's less. They're driving less. So again, that hurts the capacity, adds more hours. And I guess the third factor would be, and we've talked about this in earlier podcasts, is just the inefficiency at shipping and receiving points, where drivers go there to deliver, and they wind up spending 4 or 5 hours there. So again, once they're on the clock, all those hours count. So I think
Right.
those three things, and plus your point about choosing loads that might be the haul, probably all add to this phenomenon of less hours.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to discuss. I don't look at it much differently than I would the deadhead
Right.
percentage. Okay, so the industry standard was always you want your deadhead to be as low under 10% as possible, but for sure budget for 10%,
Right.
right? And that covers you. Well, when things slow down, you're having to go further to get loads. Capacity is not a simple picture.
No.
It is a complex picture of, okay, well, why aren't there plenty of trucks laying around when things slow down? Well, trucks are fluid, and if there's 250 trucks, let's say, going into a specific market a day, and you take it to 150 or 200, then there's less equipment available to load.
Right.
So your deadhead origins become more visible when there isn't revenue that supports bouncing and deadheading. When the shipments aren't plentiful, that you have your pick of 5 to 7 or 10 shipments for every truck. Last fall we saw in Buffalo, 60, 70 loads per truck on a regular basis, week over week over week over week for months on end. They're going to win the efficiency battle in that market.
Yeah.
And as it slows up, they're going to be less efficient because the options are less.
Yeah.
I think it's a puzzle.
Yeah. No, it is absolutely. There's a lot of moving parts. I think the other moving part is trailer utilization. When you look at how many turns are you as a trailer getting in a month? I mean, I've heard people say that it's 10 to 11 days a month the trailers are sitting there, not moving. Well, if it's not moving, they're not making any money.
Right.
I've heard statistics that say that 20% of the fleet of the national fleet of 4 or 5 million trailers is idle every day. So again, just increasing trailer turns and utilization. I mean, again, that's more capacity that comes online. But again, you've got a lot of moving parts there with drop. I mean, a lot of people do drop trailers now. Drop trailers, they give you some efficiency, but there's also a lot of idle equipment. So again, there's moving parts. There's a lot to this. There's a lot to the whole puzzle here.
And if I order a new refrigerated trailer today, I'll have it approximately the end of second quarter next year. And this I anticipate will break the $100,000 per trailer year.
Yeah.
And we're at the 90, 95, 96,000 point today, but you can't find those. Those are done.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for pricing to come out for 2023 and to be established, which is going to happen any day now. But I got to figure that they're going to go up at least 5%.
Yeah.
On the equipment. So you can't go out on the limb when the revenue's not there, and you go buy a bunch of equipment that you don't have the work for to run efficiently.
Yeah.
The equipment costs more, and it's going to cost more to sit on it.
I guess my comeback to that would be, if you were more efficient with your current equipment, would you need to purchase all that new additional equipment? Because if you get a truck sitting 10, 12 days a month, 20% of the fleet is idle at any given time. I mean, you just got to increase turns, and that's going to give you capacity. So yeah,
Well,
we keep on adding trailers, but is that the right thing to do?
Well, if the turns aren't there because the economy's slowing down, you can't haul air,
Right.
So you have to have revenue, and it has to be, positive revenue to roll the equipment and to wear out the equipment and to pay the driver. That starts with having the freight
Yeah.
and having the volume. Like I said, we didn't have this discussion third quarter last year or first quarter this year.
Right.
We didn't have these numbers weren't out there. The numbers are showing a real change, which I think we all have seen. People are buying down.
Right.
Middle class for sure is buying down. Some of the upper class is buying down. Some of the lower class is buying down. So you're going to go cheaper because fuel's expensive and costs of living and inflation. Inflation's the problem. So with inflation this high, do you double down and try and get a bunch of equipment and plan for it to flip? How long is it going to be? But I think the subject matter is phenomenal because I don't know that everyone understands in our industry and sees the capacity as a fluid picture.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you got a puzzle to put together and there's 5,000 pieces, you can put a lot of pieces together. You got a lot of movements to make to put the puzzle together. If it's a 500 piece puzzle, you don't have near as many options. So the capacity scenario, I think that the biggest impact that we're seeing on it is the e-com regional business.
Okay.
You're seeing, was it FedEx or there are other regional delivery and last mile delivery people not renewing contracts
Oh, really?
for their subcontracted work. So as we see that happen, that kind of gives us a picture that things are slowing down. But I still don't think there's extra driver capacity. I think they're going to change their perspective and they're going to have to go over the road and they're going to have to choose to either stay in it or find another career. Depends on what their vocational skill set is.
Yeah.
Do you think that number is going to get worse over the next few months?
I think it will. I don't see a real big bang in the fourth quarter. I think we'll have it'll be busy, but I don't think it's going to be crazy busy like it's been the last couple of years. So I think you're still going to see a lot of hours not used. You're going to see trailers not turning. So I guess the message I'd say to everybody would be, you got to look at all the stakeholders have to look at efficiencies. That can you unload the truck quicker? Can you load the truck quicker? Can you turn the equipment? Get the driver in and out as fast as you can. I mean, that's what's going to help us. But I don't see a big silver bullet here to fix this anytime soon.
No, I don't either. I would agree on that. But I think the scenario is the best solution is to have more volume of freight to get the economy moving at a sustainable, positive speed. With inflation, I think we're going to be down for a little while. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But some other industry experts think that first and second quarter of the year are going to be a shallow dip negative and short-lived because they don't feel that the driver capacity scenario has improved.
Right.
Well, Joe, thanks for the time.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Love the wisdom. Love the subject matter. Everybody listening, Joe Lombardo, Ege Avenue Associates. Check him out. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Have a good day.